well. Good morning, Gemini. This is David with Tarot and Astrology for All, bringing you your full moon reading for this full moon, but as well as these next 2 weeks going on into the new moon. Now, Gemini, what I got was a vision of a car crash. Not to make you guys too worried or whatever, but in that first one, I seen that it was a possibility of slowing down, and I do believe that in that vision, the people that were involved were probably quarreling, probably arguing about something, distraught, not really paying attention to the road or to the details. So, I mean, this could be a mental crash. You know, it could be that some of you guys have mentally crashed. Uh, this could be a physical crash too. Who knows? But I felt that it was significant to mention because when I went to go lay down with my fiance, and I was feeling tired after the reading that I did for Sagittarius, if I'm not mistaken, or no, Pisces. What happened was that I had a dream, and this dream was a car crash, similar to that one that I felt. I mean, the one that I seen in my vision, and um, in this vision, the crash was into the back of a semi. Like, say if this is a semi, uh, the car went and it hit. Or, I mean, it hit and then it spiraled off into the dirt. And um, in through this vision, those ditches that you guys see when there's bridges, when you go over a bridge and the ground goes down, I do feel that that vehicle went into that ditch. Maybe it might be necessary for you guys to check in for your loved ones or check in with your loved ones to make sure that nobody in your family has gotten into a car crash. Now, second, um, I do want to mention that even if this is not a physical car crash, maybe it's necessary to check in on family to make sure that they did not have a mental breakdown. Because the sign of Gemini was the thought on my mind when I had this vision and the dream. And so I just want to make sure that I put that out fairly quickly. Again, I want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is David. I am a tarot astrology, uh, tarot reader, astrologist, intuit. I'm starting to believe that I'm psychic as well, but not in the sense that most people throw the word around. I have visions, clairvoyance. Sometimes I hear things that reveal information to me, and most of the time, though, it's visual. I'll see something, and it gives me insight into something. My clairvoyance usually goes back about 2 months, and then 1 month, and then about 2 weeks before an event actually happens. So maybe this is a future event. Maybe it's necessary for your loved ones to really pay attention to the road or pay attention to the road they're traveling because it could be leading towards some kind of self destruction. Now, if there was, if this kind of crash involves Mars, it could be involving relationships, could be involving couples. This could be a mental breakdown between a couple, or it could be a physical crash with a couple. So, with Pluto right now going through Scorpio and Mars going through Libra, it is possible that, as far as Gemini goes, this is it's within the fifth and the sixth house. So these are the things uh, that usually are supposed to bring us pleasure. But I do feel that with the Mars influence and with the Mercury retrograde going on right now, that this could lead to arguments. This could lead to not really seeing the things that need to be seen, and at the same time, with the Sun crossing the planets that are in Scorpio, for any of you guys with the planets in Scorpio, this could uh, this could mean for people that are anywhere between the ages of 14 to 35, which would be November 1995 to, I mean, August 1984 to November 1995 for any of you born during that time, or for any people who may be passing away right now that were born during that time. And also for any parents or any older people that were involved in, say, a crash or a mental breakdown that are between the ages of May or June. 1973 to August or July or August of 1984, which would make them either 35 to 46 years old or anything like that. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and just shuffle this deck right here. I'm gonna show the bottom card to see what this energy is sitting on. If it comes out in the reading, then I will go ahead and let you guys know. And well, I mean, if it goes out into the reading, then that means that that's the energy that you're occupying then and there. This energy right here might be. Look at that, one fell out. All right, so with the sea serpent, I feel like, um, I don't know, to some degree, I feel like many of you feel that the universe is not watching over you. I feel that the universe is watching over you. It's just that you guys are not, I guess you could say, cognizant of the fact, aware of the fact that the universe is watching over you. It could be that the universe, has its eye on you, and for those that have passed away, my condolences, right? But it could just be that um, that this person or those people went back home. Uh, this is around the time when major transformations are to be taking place, and nothing causes a transformation in other people as a death in the family, a death of loved ones of whatever kind, be they grandparents, parents, children, and things of that nature. So, okay, so I feel like some of you guys are, to whatever degree, trying to call out to the universe. I do feel that some of you guys have been in the dark. I do feel that some of you guys are trying to make your way to the surface. If this is crash related or death related, my condolences to you. And if this is not, and this is more of a mental breakdown, I feel that you guys are now breaking the surface of whatever it is that is causing you this mental distress. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start drawing cards to see what the energy is like and to see what we run into for Gemini. All right, so I do feel like maybe there is some type of mental instability. Not really like craziness or anything like that, but I do feel like this person has been flipped over. This person is not heading into the light. It's more like they're falling from grace, I guess you could say. But with the air sign, or the hawk being the sign of the air, the air element, I should say. Wow, this Mercury retrograde's got me all messed up. Um, I do feel that a lot of you are showing it, and I mean, regardless of whether you are showing it or not, there is some type of mental instability, mental anxiety, not being able to see things from a higher perspective, not being able to put your finger on it. That's kind of what I feel, and at the same time, I feel that there's a necessary need to encompass strong, harmonious relationships. Also, patience and persistence are one of those things that come to mind when I think about this kind of thing going on. And I feel that, in a way, this Mercury retrograde is affecting you guys the most because with Mercury, um, with Mercury in conjunct uh, the moon in your sign, I do feel like there is just this inability to be able to kind of come to terms with things that are going on. So it could be possible that somebody in the family has died, but I mean, just go ahead and mention down in the comments below if you guys have had somebody that has passed away, so that I can go ahead and respond to you guys and give my condolences. For those of you who haven't experienced anything like that, I do feel like there's a necessary need to see things from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, and to really encompass that energy of patience and persistence, and to try to bring harmony with the relationships. I know right now the disharmony going on in relationships right now. It's something that's on a daily basis, something that may need to be cut out or purged, especially during this portal that's going on right now with 11/11 and 12/12. Uh, about a whole month of transformations and stuff like that for everybody. Oh, look at that. Yes, there's a necessary need to view things from an intellectual level, and you guys are definitely presenting as the energy of air. But I do feel like you guys are in some way not allowing the energy of healing to come in and take place because the frog in the upright, this is about healing. This is about cleansing. This is about releasing the those negative blockages that you have. And I do feel that to whatever extent there's something that you can't let go of. There's something that's not allowing you to heal properly, and I do feel like there's a necessary need to take a higher vantage point. These two birds, they're both birds that take a higher perspective on things. They have a higher consciousness to them. They're very intelligent. They know they. I feel like you have to calculate a lot of different things in your life right now, but with this in the reverse, I do feel like you guys may be swooping in on something without having the full scope of information. And I do feel like maybe you guys feel like you have the full scope of information, but this is saying otherwise. This is saying that you guys are coming in from a space of emotional turmoil and not necessarily intelligence or a higher vantage point. I do feel like maybe you guys are getting very, very close to figuring out what it is that's making you unstable, whether it's mentally, whether it's emotionally. I do feel like this is both an emotional and mental instability that you guys have going on. Something like this could be characteristic of somebody in the family dying. And if any of you guys have any people in your family that are between those ages, or between that were born between those dates, you would have Pluto either in Libra for the older crowd, and you would have Pluto in Scorpio during that time. And if anybody has passed away within these last 3 weeks, then please mention that below. My condolences to you, because I think I may have found the uh, the transits that are necessary in order to identify when somebody will die. So, and if that's possible, then I have the possibility of helping people come to terms with it before it happens, so that they're able to go through those transitions fairly easily, and allows them to be able to learn whatever lessons that has to teach them in order to become that full-fledged human being and soul that they are. I do feel that some of you guys are going to be experiencing changes throughout this month between 11/11 and 12/12. So let's go to the fairies now to explain what the energy is behind this and to see more or less what we're dealing with. All right, so yeah, there is instability. This could be physical instability, but I do feel this is more arising from the soul level, and it's affecting the emotional, the mental, and the physical at the same time. But regardless, I wouldn't be surprised if Gyu the Slow came out in this. The 5 and the 8. The 5 speaks about changes. The 8 speaks about karmic event. So whatever events are going on right now are karmic in nature. This guy usually it calls for grounding. It calls for to be level-headed, to be patient. 1313 might be. I mean, 13 or the number 13 could be something that's important. I don't know if you guys have been seeing that. Also, uh, when it comes to relationships, there might be some certain problems within relationships. I think I may have mentioned that. I have no idea. This could be, yeah. I think I mentioned relationships on a daily level, on a daily or a day-to-day level. Um, but yeah, there's a necessary need for uh, for something like that. Now, the Gihyob or Gihobya is about those fears that are not really there. I feel like there's a necessary need for reflection, revision. Take a look at the things that are going on. These are fears that are unfounded. These are fears that aren't there. They're basically fears that could be created by other people. They could be fears created by external sources. But with that 7 or with that 61 up there, I do feel like there's a necessary need for you to really pay attention to the things that are going on, because whatever this instability is, it could be founded off of a fear that's not really shouldn't really be there, has no basis behind it, etc. I do feel like to whatever degree that you guys are trying to implement changes, trying to implement helpful changes, but to whatever degree the bodacious bodak means well, but sometimes he tends to meddle in things that don't need to be meddled in. And so I feel that with this, you guys are trying to implement changes, trying to swoop in on different things, and this is causing that instability. And of course, with the sage, it comes out to the number to the number 10 if you add in the 1 and the 9. And with the 1, I do feel like it's necessary that you need to move forward with how would I say with knowledge. I do feel like there's these things that have been like annoying you, so to speak. I do feel that this is connected to whatever it is that's got you mentally imbalanced, or that's got you not really looking at things from a higher perspective. I feel more like you're like on the ground when Gemini's are supposed to be somewhere in the air. I do feel like this, in a sense, kind of explains you being more at home than being out with the crowds, than being out with everybody, and having fun and enjoying yourself. I feel like there are some painful factors here that are not allowing you uh, to move forward. And then lastly, with these cards that came out, it's the fairies of the future. I do feel like it's necessary for you to really take a look at everything that's going on now, because with the fairies of the future, they tend to show you, um, they tend to point to things in the future. And when this card is in the upright, it's looking at the. If you look at this guy over here, he's looking in both directions. I feel that this is you right now. You are kind of in the middle. You have all these people around you, kind of looking forward, looking backwards. You got this gnome pointing forward, and so I feel that with this card in the reverse, there's a necessary need to stop and take a look at now. Take a look at what's going on here, because since you're on the ground, you might as well, take stop and take a second to heal. Go ahead and I would say go to a mountain, go to some place where it's windy. This will allow your mind to kind of blow thoughts out of your head. Being in a calm setting has the ability to really help you to balance yourself and to really see why things are ticking you off so hard, so much. What's triggering you? That's what I feel. It's something that's triggering you, that's not allowing you to heal. Yeah, there's a necessary need to focus in on the natural magic of the universe. Um, with this, it comes out to 8 also. So these things that are happening are karmic in nature. Um, I do feel that 6 is one of those numbers that you guys may want to point ahead. But I do think that 4 and 8 are more important than that. Sevens are more important than that, and usually, and a lot of the things that are going on right now are changes that are necessary to take place. Um, these changes that are taking place are meant to kind of evolve you, and like I mentioned earlier, there's a necessary need for transformation, but you have to focus on the energy that you feel, the vibrations that you feel, the things that are going on in your life right now, and really stop and pay attention to what's going on in your vicinity, because I do feel like some of you guys are swooping in and moving in too fast, not really paying attention to what's going on around you, and this could lead to a mental crash, mental burnout, etc. So yeah, there's a necessary need to slow down, because this card in the upright, it speaks about being hasty, being impulsive. Um, this, I would say, is a necessary need to delay, to stop and think through these changes. The 5 and the 7, it comes out to 12, and 12 reduces to 3. So I feel that it's necessary for you guys to call upon Source, call upon God, and call upon the angels, your guides, to help you with this healing, because I do feel like you guys are close. I don't think you guys are very, very far away from reaching this healing. You just have to stop for a second and, really, really slow down and catch the things that are going on in your immediate time frame in the now, because it's going to be necessary for you guys to do so in order to be able uh, to really catch what it is that's, these small details that I feel are a pain in your foot. It's almost like you're walking on eggshells and you keep cutting yourself uh, every so often. I do feel that you need to stop for a second and take a look at your vicinity and take a look at the things that are going on around you, so that you don't get yourself into an accident, so that you don't get into a mental breakdown, so that you don't go off on somebody when you shouldn't be, thinking that you're implementing a helpful fix, and at the same time, uh, only making things worse. Okay, so right now, I mean, this card right here, the feline, it's about endings. It's about completing completing the things that have not been completed yet. And in the reverse, I do feel like there aren't going to be anytime soon. I do feel like there's a necessary need to pay attention to your intuition, pay attention to the messages that you receive from source, and this is going to allow you to really take a look at the things that are causing you to feel like there's no way that the situation is going to change. Because with gloom and doom at the bottom, I do feel like you guys are feeling some type of self pity. You guys are probably beating yourselves up. You guys are, in a sense, uh, mentally distraught to the point where it's making you hella gloomy, hella sad. And this, in a sense, could be coming from the bodacious Bodak and the ability for him to try to fix situations. However, I do feel that you guys are feeling like it was your fault. Maybe I do feel that you guys are kind of cowering around, like trying to figure out what the hell's going on, right? But it's necessary to stop and take a look for a second and really, really put everything into perspective, because I do feel that healing is around the corner for you guys, and you just have to do the inner work and make sure that as you do this inner work, that you forgive yourself. Uh, I'm gonna go ahead and read a picture that I saved from yesterday or the day before, one of those, and it was a Buddhist monk prayer of forgiveness. I'm gonna go ahead and read that right now, right before I do this last portion, and then I'll get into the astrological chart for you guys and find out what exactly is going on, and see what the energy is like for these next 2 weeks. Okay, so the Buddhist prayer of forgiveness. If I have harmed anyone in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through my own confusions, I ask their forgiveness. If anyone has harmed me in any way, either knowingly or unknowingly, through their own confusions, I forgive them. And if there is a situation I am not yet ready to forgive, I forgive myself for that. You need to forgive yourself. Get yourself out of that self pity, because it's making you unhappy. For all the ways that I harm myself, negate, doubt, belittle myself, judge, or be unkind to myself through my own confusions, I forgive myself. And you'll feel that as you say this prayer, I'll go ahead and link the words into the description below. You'll find out that it gives you the ability to be able to like invite this healing energy into you, and it'll allow you to be able to finally slow down for a second, allow this healing to come in from source, so long as you ask for it, right? Because source isn't going to help you unless you ask for it. And once you do, you'll have that ability to be able to move forward into the future, without so much without any hate for yourself, without any hate for others, and just being in a state of compassion and love. All right, so let's see what the tarot has to clarify on this. All right, so there is something that you're going to have to walk away from, or maybe somebody else has walked away from you. But I do feel like this is a necessary need, not just to walk away from this self pity, but to walk away from whatever it is that's not leaving you stable, what's causing this instability, right? Um, when you walk away from this instability, you allow the healing energy from the universe to start working its magic, and it's all about the right place at the right time. Whatever it was that's bothering you on the emotional level, it's not fulfilling you, and so you're gonna have to go in search of this ninth cup, right? This ninth cup that's gonna make you happy. I do feel like you have to take it slow though. Do beware on traveling. I do believe that. Let's see that some of you guys may be traveling with loved ones or maybe traveling with friends. It could be something like that, but just be careful. Pay attention to the road. Look at things that are going on. Make sure that you're paying attention to every little detail, and you should be fine. All right, so I do feel like you guys are planning for the future. That's why you guys are trying to implement helpful fixes. However, I do feel that to whatever degree, there are some fixes that you guys are trying to take action on based on fear, and it's necessary to release that fear that's causing this gloom within you. Because if you try to move forward, ooh, well, there's not going to be any forward movement, obviously, but uh, trying to move forward like this without having the ability to connect to the universal energy, to connect to God, to connect to your sources, to your guide, um, will only cause you not to move forward in life. It would keep you from basically healing, and it'll keep you in this gloom, this doom, this instability, and things of that nature. I do feel like you guys are getting ready to walk away, though, and this is a form of justice. Some of you guys might be dealing with the Libra, or some of you guys uh, may have heavy Libra traits. But I do feel that you guys, it is necessary for you guys to slow down in order to take a second to think about it, to balance yourself out, and this will allow you the ability to cut whatever it is that you need to cut out of your life, and to be able to heal. The Eight of Cups is one of those ones where he's cut out everything in search of something greater, something spiritual. So some of you guys maybe traveling to find healing of some kind, maybe through Reiki, maybe through tarot readings somewhere else, maybe going to a Buddhist monk temple or something like that. It's not surprising that this prayer right here is actually perfect for this because it allows you to forgive yourself, more importantly, but it allows you to move forward with intelligence, and it allows you to be able to end these these things that are going on in your life, to be able to move into a better space, a better mental space, a better emotional space, a better physical space, basically. Any kind of move would allow you to be able uh, to take in this new environment, and this is going to allow you to heal too. Because to whatever degree these changes that are going on, they're happening because there's emotional instability, obviously, but there's that mental instability, and I do feel like the energy right here is not allowing you to move forward. I do feel like maybe some of you guys are focusing more on the bad news than you guys are focusing on the good news. But in order for you to move forward, yes, you're gonna have to plan, but you're gonna have to let go of some beliefs. These beliefs are not serving your best interest. Um, they're not really helping you in order to move forward and to heal. But I do feel that with the Knight of Pentacles, also right here, there's a necessary need for you guys to kind of sit still for a second, view things from another perspective, right? And to move forward slowly, move forward steadily after that point. But now I'm gonna go ahead and go end. Well, I'm gonna end this reading right here. I do feel that the cards have mentioned everything that's necessary to mention. So I am now going to move into the astrological portion and go through this as quickly as possible for you guys. Right now, you guys got the moon in your first house. The moon is basically your feelings, your emotions, and you guys may be communicating your emotions either through vocal patterns or either through your body language, the way that you put yourself out. And I do believe that a lot of this has to deal with what you find valuable to you. And usually with Cancer, Cancers find the people that they can trust that's valuable to them. You have Cancer in your second house, so when it comes to the energy behind Cancer and the North Node in Cancer, there's a necessary need to take care of the ones you love and to prove your loyalty to them, prove your worth and your value to them, so that they can see the worth and the value that you have in you. Right now, I feel that you guys may be undergoing some kind of uh, some kind of relationship struggles. Maybe there's some arguments. I do feel that you guys are trying to have fun, like I mentioned earlier, that you guys are trying to have fun, but this could lead to arguments. It could be that loved ones have passed away. You guys are trying to uh, in a way, trying to make the environment lighter than what it is, and this could be something that you've been thinking about on a daily on a daily basis. You've been thinking about it quite a bit with Mercury, and right now is actually the perfect time to revise and re-edit the things that have been going on in your daily life and how you express yourself, how you express this transformational energy that you have on a daily basis. And as soon as Mercury starts going forward again, you're going to be able to move forward with these ideas. Now, with Sagittarius being in your seventh house, this definitely has to do with trying to have fun within your relationships, trying to see the beauty in your relationships. With Jupiter in there, this is big. These are big changes within your relationships, and of course, these are big transformational changes that are going on with Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn in your eighth house. Now, these transformations are necessary in order to build upon these things. There's certain things that you have to let go and that you have to heal from, and this is actually the universe bringing in justice for whatever it is that you guys have been experiencing here shortly or over the last decade or so. And I do feel like um, I do feel that you guys are focusing quite a bit on your dreams, your goals in life, maybe your career, stuff like that. With Neptune and Pisces, you might feel like there's not like maybe you've lost some of the steps. Maybe you don't know some of the steps in order to get to wherever it is that you wish to be successful in. But I do feel that some of the clues that are pointing to this expansion of consciousness through these tenth house matters is Chiron in Aries in the 11th. Watch how you put yourselves out. Watch how the people react to you. There might be certain triggers that you guys may have, certain wounds that people may activate, but it is through these wounds that show themselves. And I have the feeling that you guys have a good instinct about what this is. It has the ability to illuminate your life. It has the ability to show you, what it is that you're doing, and if this is a self-destructive mentality, it would be necessary to really take a look at it and to cut it out of your life. And this is something that you should be finding out as Uranus is traveling through Taurus in your 12th house. 12th house is usually the house of Neptune and the house of Pisces. But with Taurus in the 12th house, there's a necessary need for really, really taking a look at how you plan to build stability and how you plan to do this so that you can move forward in in any part of your life. I do feel like this is more relationship related, but I do feel like this is somewhat job related as well. This could be relationships within your job too, but I do feel that if there is anybody that has passed away, whether it's in the job, whether it's overseas, whether it's somebody involved in a car crash or anything like that, I do feel like it's necessary to not just forgive yourself, but to forgive anybody who might be blaming you, because a lot of the times it might not even be our fault, but somebody still tries to blame us, and you know there's a necessary need to move away from those people because they are not serving your best interest, and at the same time they are causing this mental instability to you that's not allowing you to view things from a higher perspective. So with that being said, I would like to end your reading here. So if there has been any deaths in your family just recently, um, my condolences go out to you. uh, Sevens are very, very much implicated here, and uh, this is the necessary time to kind of sit back and review things, because once Mercury goes direct, our trains of thought are running with whatever it is that it has in its mind, and you want to make sure that you have that higher vantage point so that you don't end up uh, creating more and more gloom in your life. So with that being said, I would like to end the reading here. If you feel that this resonates with you, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down somewhere around here, right after the subscription button. And also, please go ahead and comment on this. I want to see what's going on. If any of you guys have been experiencing a close car crash or anything like that, I want to know genuinely for myself, but also I want to see if there's any I mean, for me it's the trying to find out the indications of when a person's going to die, and helping people uh to move forward after this death by taking the lessons that they've learned from that person and emulating it so that they keep the memory alive. So with that being said, I am David with Tarot and Astrology for All. I hope you guys have a good morning, and I hope that you guys can forgive yourselves and allow yourselves to move into a new space, a new beginning here going into 2020. So, with that being said, I am David with Tarot and Astrology for All, wishing you guys a good morning.